These are 5 secrets to grow your cleaning company fast. So most cleaning businesses out there aren't failing because they're lazy. It's because they're built on the wrong foundations. And in today's video, I'm going to take you through 5 simple but powerful things that most cleaning businesses miss. If you fix these, you will get better leads, more clients, and ultimately more profit for you as the business owner. So let's get into it. So secret number 1 is to focus in on a niche. For those of you that are familiar with the industry, you'll be well aware that there are cleaning companies all over the country, all around the world, lots of competition, the bigger companies, the smaller companies, the independents, and it is generally very difficult to see how they are different from one of each other. So, most of them will be doing some house cleaning, some office cleaning, maybe some carpets, windows. And this first point is extremely important because we need to be seen by the market to be specializing in a certain part of the industry. Rather than offering commercial cleaning and residential cleaning, pick one. Be the house cleaning business, focus on house cleaning and niche down further if you can. So maybe, rather than just going after house cleaning, you are focusing on the recurring clients, the busy homeowners who need cleaning every week or every 2 weeks. Or you may focus on the move in, move out cleans, or maybe post-construction cleans. So what's really important here is that you focus in on a niche, because if you are seen by the market to be the same as all the other cleaning companies in the area, you will not be able to set a high price. You'll be known as what is a price taker. So the market determines the price that you can charge, because if a client calls you and they compare your service to the cleaning company down the road and they look like they offer exactly the same service, if they offer a lower price, then that client will go with the competitor. You become a price taker in that situation. However, if you are a specialist cleaning company, generally people will pay a higher price for specialists, whether it's in the cleaning industry, any other industry, outside cleaning. And then when you get to that position, you go from being what's called a price taker to a price maker. You can set your own prices in the market because there aren't any other cleaning companies, or very few other cleaning companies, that do the same specialist activity as you. So if you're the go-to company for move in, move out residential cleaning in your city, you will be able to, set a price. And usually by being able to set your prices, you can set a higher price. As I said, people tend to pay more for specialists. And by setting a high price, that allows you to generate more profit. You can take that profit, reinvest it, grow your business, put it into marketing, put it into recruitment, bring on a virtual assistant, and ultimately pay you more as the business owner as well. So secret number 1 is to focus in on a niche. This is something I see missed by so many business owners out there. Then secret 2 is then to build a client engine website. So many people get into the wrong view of what their website is, and they think it is essentially a glorified brochure. Tells people what services they offer, they've got some nice photos on there, but actually the primary objective of your website is to convert a high percentage of people who are clicking on your website to actually becoming leads, them calling you up or them filling out a quote request form, and then you converting those leads to booked clients. That is the primary objective of your website, and many people miss this. So we need to make sure that if this is the case, and we're trying to maximize for the number of conversions, we need to, first of all, make it very easy for people to call us. Make sure the phone number is very obvious. We always put it in what's called a sticky header at the top of the page, so when you're scrolling down, the number is still there and visible. It needs to be a click to call number. So if someone clicks on that button, they need to be able to initiate a call us straight away, particularly because mobile is becoming the more dominant channel over desktop. And, we need to make sure things like it's mobile responsive, that it looks good on mobile, obviously on a smaller screen. We need to get those key elements in place. We then need to make sure that our conversion tracking is set up correctly. So we need to make sure that we're tracking all the calls that are coming through our website. We need to be tracking all the lead form quote requests that are coming through our site. And then once we have that in place, we then have some numbers that we can track. We can then iterate on them and then improve them, and really the number that you want to have in the back of your mind is a 20% conversion rate. If for every 10 people that come to your website, you get 2 of those people calling you up or 2 of them filling out a form, you know that your website is performing at a good level. It's a highly converting website. You know that if you are only, say, converting 5% or 3% or 8%, that you've got a lot of work to do. So you need to think about your website primarily in terms of conversion. It's not a brochure. It's about converting as many clicks onto your website to becoming converted leads and then ultimately booked clients. If you're finding the content in the video helpful so far, please like and subscribe. Really, really great for me, really helpful. And let's jump onto secret number 3. So secret number 3 is to not underprice. And this is another very common fundamental item that people miss because, most people, when they're setting up in their cleaning business, set low prices. They're trying to get the ball rolling, trying to get some clients, trying to get revenue. And they can get away with that because, there's not a lot of cost in this business. That's one of the great things about running a cleaning business. So if you, as the business owner, are doing the cleaning yourself, really, there's no cost. You go and do your cleaning. Maybe there's some product costs and things like that. But the issue is if you continue to use that same level of pricing as you grow the business, you'll find that there isn't enough profit in the business to reinvest and grow and put it into marketing and bring on VAs and things like that. A very common mistake I see is people underpricing. You need to set your prices at a level which, I usually talk about a 50% gross margin. So let's say the going rate for cleaners in your area is $20. If you wanted to hire a cleaner off Indeed, which is one of the biggest recruitment websites out there, if the going rate for cleaners in your area is $20, you know that if you send out your cleaner for, say, a 2-hour job, you will need to pay them 2 times $20, $40, and then you need to be charging that client a minimum of $80. So double your cleaner rate to make sure that there's enough money left over to reinvest and grow your business. So this is a very common mistake I see, people underpricing. Set your level at that 50% gross margin, and after other costs, other admin costs, software, marketing, you should be left with at least 20% profit margin. At that stage, you know that your business is priced right. You've got to be generating enough profit to reinvest and grow your business further. So then secret 4 is focusing on specific marketing channels. So when you're getting started, this is something I tell everyone, you want to try all sorts of marketing, put a bit of money into flyering, try Facebook ads, Google ads, maybe a little advert in the local newspaper. You want to try all these different channels out there because every single location across the country is different. There'll be certain areas where Yelp does really well, but I know in the middle of the country, it doesn't perform well. Google ads, LSA, local SEO, all these things you want to be trying, but you really want to try to whittle that list of marketing channels that you use and bring that down to a handful of channels where you are getting the best results. Importantly, with this, we need to be tracking all our efforts. So if we're putting in $500 into Thumbtack, we need to make sure that we know how many leads did we get? What is the cost per lead? How many clients did we get? What's the cost of acquisition? Do the same thing with Google ads, do the same thing with Yelp. And you can then start to rank all the marketing channels in terms of the highest ROI going to the lowest. And you want to focus on that group at the top where you're getting the highest ROI. Double down on those channels. If you're getting the best results from them, you want to put any money that you were spending on the other lower ROI channels and put it into the higher. And this is really, really important because if you are not tracking it in this way, your marketing is just not going to be very, very efficient. So 9 times out of 10, what I find is that, once people have tried all this, local SEO, so getting ranked in the Google Maps section, is a really, really effective place to be, a really effective use of your time. The problem is it takes time to get ranked in those top 3 positions in the map section. And if you're using Google local service ads and Google ads and picking up recurring clients on those channels, it can work well alongside a local SEO strategy. But as I said, try all these different channels, track everything, and then double down on those handful of channels that are getting you the best results. So then secret number 5, the money is in the follow-up. And this is a mistake that I see very commonly. You can have a great website generating lots of leads, lots of inbound calls, but then, what you might find is that, a particular business is missing 30% of inbound calls. That is a disaster. We need to make sure that every single inbound call is being picked up. As I talk about in other videos on my channel, the phone is really where you're going to get the highest close rates. If you can get that person, interested prospect, on the phone, you can answer their questions, build a bit of trust, bit of rapport, you can book them there and then on the phone. It's far more likely you'll be able to close that lead to a booked client if you get them on the phone than if you're doing a back and forth on email and sending prices, what's covered, what's not. The inbound calls are really important. Make sure that you're not missing any of them. There are lots of phone software out there now, Open Phone, Ring Central. You can track the number of calls that you're missing. And this is really important if you, as the business owner, aren't taking the inbound calls. Maybe you've got a virtual assistant or an office manager. Don't assume that every single inbound call is getting picked up. You can log into the dashboard, find out if any are being missed. If you're missing anything close to 10% or more of your inbound calls, you've got a problem. You need to be following up with your office manager to understand why that is happening. The money is in the follow-up. Make sure all the calls are being picked up. But if someone fills out a contact form, a request a quote form, and that's getting emailed into you, the follow-up is really important. So the speed of response. So, you get a notification that someone has requested a quote. Get on the phone to them. The quicker the better, certainly within 5 minutes. What you'll find is that the longer you take to respond to people, the less likely they're going to become a booked client, because they'll put in a quote request, and during that time that they're waiting for you to get back to them, they're probably on Google looking at other companies, they're probably calling other companies, and they'll keep calling other companies or sending in quote requests until they find someone that they connect with and that they go ahead and book. So the longer it takes for you to respond and follow up with them, the less likely you're going to book that client there and then. So speed of response is really important, but the multi-channel and the repeated follow-up is very important as well. So if you call back that new customer or that new lead and you don't get through, don't give up there and then. Leave them a voicemail, send them an email, send them an SMS. The response rates and text messages can often be a lot higher than emails as well. And the call to action generally is to find out, is there we received your quote request. Is there a good time to give you a call, perhaps at the end of the day? You really want to try and get the prospect on the phone if you can. And if you don't hear anything by the end of the day, I would give them another call at the end of the day. And then, for the next probably 2 or 3 days after that, you want to follow up. You want to do it in a way that isn't the same message. It's not, do you still want a cleaning? We got your quote request. Use ChatGPT to give you some ideas, but some good ideas of different ways that you could follow up. The next day you might send them a link to all your fantastic Google reviews. The day after that, you might send them a link to your frequently asked questions. The day after that, it might be a coupon code. So you can see that we are following up with that prospect, showing them that we're here, showing them that we're available to speak when they are, but not hammering down the same message there and then. If you're going to do that, you might annoy the client. So you want to follow up in a way that is using a different angle. Speed of response, extremely important. Multi-channel follow-up, very important, and repeated follow-up as well. And if you don't, after 3 days of following up, if you still don't get through, I would add that customer's email into your monthly nurture sequence. So you should ideally be having a monthly email newsletter that goes out to people on your list. It might, you might have things like, tips for cleaning as we get into a holiday season. Another one might be talking about, a particular client testimonial that you got. Another one might be a coupon code. To get those people on the monthly email newsletter, you'll be surprised and amazed how many people come back to you. Maybe when they did the quote request, they got tied up with work, but then they knew they needed to do cleaning in the future. But by having that email, that monthly newsletter coming through, it keeps your company front of mind. So if they choose to book in the future, they're not going to jump back on Google and go through the initial research again. They'll know that, this company had emailed me before, I'm going to give them a call and see if they can help. Point 5, secret number 5, is making sure you are following up effectively. So once you've got all these key pillars in place, 90% of your time as the business owner should be focused on marketing, trying to get more clients in the door, trying to get more revenue. And I think, as I said earlier, 9 times out of 10, what you'll find is that the foundation foundation of effective marketing in your cleaning business will be local SEO. It will be getting ranked in those 3 positions in the page 1 on Google. And this is what I'm going to talk about in the next video. I'm going to take you through some of the basics, some of the key things you need to focus on to get your business up the rankings on Google and to become one of those 3 companies in that map section. So I'll see you on the next one.